Today, while we wait, listen in. Everyone, face front. Face front. What you see on the board is today's topic. Presentation, or to be more specific, presentation skills. You have been disciplining how to think, analyze, and gather ideas and make it onto your own. And you've been also disciplined to put it into writing, one-page proposals or PowerPoints. And you're about to bring those ideas that you have and you're about to express it. Okay? Unless you can express your thoughts articulately, you cannot communicate. I have a mindset to rule the world, to be the president of Korea or whatever country. But if you cannot communicate thoroughly, you will never be the one you want to be. Thank you. Can you please open it up while I get this thing ready? Open it up. Thank you. So today, I'm going to show you a few videos before you get your own presentation presented. Go through a little drill of brainstorming, and then take a look at, in each step, what to do, what to prepare, and how, and why, on the presentation skills. Again, same thing as in thinking, what you have to think. It is the discipline you have on how you present, what to present, and why you do what you do. Okay? It is not a game of memory. It's a game of discipline, just like driving skills. Okay? Have they ready? Let me see. When you meet somebody, what do you do and what do you say? Can you please? Common sense. It's not a rocket science question. When you meet somebody for the first time, or your friend that you meet every single day, what do you do when you meet a person? What do you do? What do you say? Simple question. Huh?
Say hello.
Say hello. Hi. In Korean, 안녕. Right? Good. Simple as that. And do you, when you say hi, hello, how do you show your expression? Facial expression. You be smiling. You will not show your a face of anger. When you meet a friend, you don't show your angry face. You show a smiley, happy, delightful face with a tone and the content of the word hello, hi, what's up, how you doing? All that, okay? Easy to say, but when it comes to a business presentation, it ain't so easy to say. When you say something of deeper content, just like when you meet somebody, whatever your friend you may encounter to, you say, hey, hi, hello, with a smiley face. You want to have that kind of discipline. Again, when you have this business presentation. The first video I'm going to show to you is what you say when you open up your own speech, and what to say when you have to close the speech. When you meet a friend and spend about an hour or two eating, drinking, and having fun, what you say at the end, goodbye, see you tomorrow, right? And whatever is being said in the middle, that's the content. But in the beginning and in the end, you say about the same thing with the same heart. I like you, my friend. I love you, my lover. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning or tomorrow night, whatever it is. Okay? Keep that in mind and take a look at what they say in the beginning to grab your attention and what they say at the end to leave a lasting impression. Once again, to grab the attention in the beginning, to leave a lasting impression at the end. See how they do it. Take a look at it. I'll give you a little more discipline right after this video. Can we do the light, please?
To give a successful presentation, they say you need to have a good beginning, a good ending, and keep them close together. And sure enough, research shows that audiences remember the first and last few minutes of a presentation long after they've forgotten most of what was said in the middle. Psychologists call this the primacy-recency effect. But you might prefer to think of your opener and your close as two bookends holding up your talk. To do their job, they both need to be strong. Now, starting off by saying good morning, introducing yourself, thanking your audience for coming, apologizing for a small technical problem with your audio visuals and asking if people can hear you at the back is clearly not a strong opening. But neither is this.
I want to talk to you today about the kind of world we, in the business community, are passing on to the next generation.
What's wrong with it? It's short, direct, and boring. Let's see how it might have sounded.
Environmental degradation, a declining economy, crippling taxes, chronic diseases, a life expectancy shorter than that of their parents, and $30,000 of debt for every man, woman, and child. This is the nightmare world we're passing on to our kids.
Now that's a good opening. Watch how these presenters gain their audience's attention right at the start.
Good morning. Sometime in the early 1980s, a business traveller called a low-cost carrier called People Express to reserve a flight. He was kept on hold for so long, he thought to himself, either this airline is incredibly busy or incredibly inefficient. Needless to say, the flight was never booked, and People Express went out of business in 1987. The name of the business traveller was Richard Branson, who, recognizing a great business opportunity when he saw it, went on to launch Virgin Atlantic Airlines. And the rest, of course, is history. But my question to you is, just how bad does your customer service have to be to turn a potential client into a competitor?
There was a great book published a few years back called The Wisdom of Crowds by James Surowiecki. In it, he refers to the popular TV quiz show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which I'm sure you've all seen. As you may know, contestants can get help with questions they can't answer by either phoning a friend or asking the audience. As you might expect, calling an intelligent friend helps. 65% of the time, in fact. But here's the interesting thing. The studio audience isn't selected on the basis of their intelligence. So how often do you think they're able to answer the question correctly?
48%.
25%?
33%?
The answer is 91% of the time. Statistically, that's just amazing, and it proves the power of teams.
I want to say a few things about winning. Did you know that in all the major golf tournaments of the last 25 years, the margin of victory has been less than 3 strokes? In Formula One motor racing so far this season, the average time difference between first and second place has been just over 7.5 seconds. And remember last Summer Olympics? In the men's 100 meters butterfly, the American swimmer won by 1/100th of a second. 1/100th. It was so close that the Serbian team, who won silver, even filed a protest. These days, in business as in sport, the difference between winning and losing is practically 0. But not quite. In every case, the winner has that vital edge. The figures I'm going to show you this afternoon demonstrate that we too have that marginal but vital edge.
From your audience's point of view, the end of your talk might be even more important than the beginning. These are the words they will be left with after you stop. If you've ever been to a firework display, you'll know that the biggest, brightest fireworks are usually saved for the end. This doesn't mean you have to finish with a bang, but you do want to leave a lasting impression. Watch these presenters clinch the close.
To summarize, whenever we have offered bonuses to incentivize our staff in sales, HR, and manufacturing divisions, productivity has increased, in some cases quite dramatically. But as we saw in R&D, introducing pay by performance has had precisely the opposite effect. Incentivized research units were, on average, only half as productive as those working without added incentives. What are we to make of this? Well, quite simply, it seems bonuses really do make you work harder when your job is pretty routine. But when your job is creative, incentives just stress you out and actually make you less creative, not more. Clearly, we all need to go away and think of a fresh initiative for motivating our most mission-critical employees. Thanks a lot.
As you know, it's a tradition in Asia to quote words of wisdom. So I'm going to be totally predictable and do the same. An ancient philosopher once said, "A man who chases 2 rabbits catches neither." In our research, we've been chasing too many rabbits for far too long. It's time to stop, to prioritize. If there's one thing we now need to do, in a word, it's this: focus. Thank you very much.
At the preparation stage, a lot of presenters like to create their close first, so they know where they're going, and then work backwards, finishing up with an attention-grabbing opening. But whichever way you plan your talk, make sure you always give priority to the first and last 3 minutes.
All right, we're going to do this next 10-20 minutes. Team drills, brainstormings. You saw the video. He said you need to have a very strong opening as an attention getter. You need to have also a very, very impressive ending. You may want to, he says, start with ending, what you're trying to achieve, and work backward, how you can initiate that thought so you have consistency between the ending and the beginning. So what I just wrote, take a look. What's the message you want to convey? As BBQ, eBay, KakaoTalk, and Xiaomi consulting team try to convince or present or deliver some thoughts to your client companies, what's the message you're trying to convey? Something they already know. Do not waste their time. Do not waste your time. Something they do not understand, do not know, and may not agree with you, or even if they agree with you, they are not sure if that's the solution they want to take. Give them the level of confidence that what you are trying to tell them is the one that they have to choose. So decide the message. Mr. Client, we believe this is good for you. What is this good for you? You have to decide. It's your job. That's the ending. From that point, you work backward. How do we initiate a thought to end up in saying that this is good for you, Ms. Karenina? And you decide that message first. Second, let's go to why. Well, I get the message. I'm the CEO of eBay, and I'm listening to you guys to poke into your brains. And okay, I see, but why? Why do I have to listen to you? What's the goal of that message? What's the objective of that message? What does it do for my company, eBay, if I listen to you? What's the outcome of it? You got to explain it. And that has to be also embedded into the message. Why? And in the middle, how you do that? How do you achieve such a mission of achieving the beginning and the ending, which has a good enough content, message that the client says, wow, I like it. All right? I'm going to give you 10, maybe 10, 15 minutes for each team to create opening statement and ending statement only, not the content. By listening to the opening statement and ending statement, I understand, I can kind of predict what's in the content. You'll probably speak about 20 minutes as entire presentation, but let's do only first 3 minutes, last 3 minutes. It can be shorter if you want, but do not get any longer than that. Maximum 3 to 3, or it can be shorter too. A word, a sentence, whatever you want to say to do this mission. Talk to your team, run a brainstorming, find out your opening statement and the ending statement, which makes total sense. Go. We say comments, or better yet, quotes. Quotes or comments from a famous personalities. That's the way to say it. You guys, everyone please, can we have your face, please? Not the Facebook, face of Professor here, please. I'm waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. Thank you. Good. All right, I have everyone. Oh, except one. Hello. Thank you. All right. What you just did, no matter what you prepared for the today's presentation, at the spot, you have created attention-grabbing opening statement and lasting impression providing ending statement, and you understand why you want to create this story, why you want to send that message, and how you want to send that message, by the way. Because it's not about you, by the way. It's not about you. It's about the audience. It's about the client. It's about the consumer. It's about the market. Okay? You talk about what you want to talk about. You do that in the beer party with your friends. Here, what you deliver as a message and how you do that and why you do that is all about the audience, the client, the market, the consumer, the customers, not you. Your job to be the best messenger, to deliver the best message, but it's not about you, it's about them. If you keep that in mind, your message will carry a lot of value. Does it make sense? Good. Any questions? All right, we move on to the next video.
Show you 5 steps to deliver a killer opener. If you're watching this, you probably already know that delivering great presentations is critical to advance your career. But did you know that research says that most adults will stop listening to your presentation within the first 10 minutes if they aren't convinced there's something in it for them? The problem is that most people don't know about the skills they need to hook their audience, give a great presentation, and overcome their fear of doing it.
What am I gonna do?
Hey Jim, how's it going?
I'm freaking out about this big presentation I have to give tomorrow.
Well, did you write out your opener and practice it 3 times?
No.
No, why not?
I'm terrified. I don't even know where to start.
Trust me, I've been in that situation before and it's not fun. So to help you out, I'm going to show you my 5-step formula to deliver a killer presentation opener every time. Let's start with step number 1, which is give a confident introduction. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they start their presentation is showing nervousness. Here's the key. It's not whether you're nervous, it's whether you show it. The first thing you need to do is stand still. Don't move, don't pace, and keep your hands at your sides. This is the most calm and confident stance on the planet, and it handles the #1 need of your audience, which is to feel safe. Now, you can introduce yourself and say, "Hi, my name is Jason Tiedick." When you do this, bring your inflection down at the end to show confidence. Instead of, "Hi, my name is Jason Tiedick," say, "Hi, my name is Jason Tiedick." See the difference? Now we move on to step 2, which is give your credentials. Now, this is where many presenters make the mistake of simply giving their title and years of experience. They say something like, "I'm a presentation skills coach and I've been doing it for 20 years. Yet your audience wants to know, what can you do for me? They need to know who you are, why you're the best person to deliver this presentation, and what you have to offer them. For example, I might say, I help people overcome their fear of public speaking and deliver amazing presentations. What would that look like for you? To figure this out, you need a short elevator speech. It looks like this. You know how some people have this problem? Well, I offer this solution. The solution you offer is how you help people. For me, it was, you know how some people have a fear of public speaking and have a hard time getting their message across in a presentation? Well, I help them overcome their fear of public speaking and deliver amazing presentations. So, what's your credential statement? You'll be amazed at the effect this has on your audience. Step 3 is to deliver your hook. My hook for this video presentation might look something like this. I'm going to show you how to captivate your audience within the first 5 minutes of your presentation. When you do this, you have to get your audience to feel something. How do you get them to feel? You have three choices. You can get them to feel more happy, more successful, or more free. Look at my hook. I said, I'm going to show you how to captivate your audience within the first 5 minutes of your presentation. When you captivate your audience within the first 5 minutes of your presentation, you'll feel happier because they're listening to you. You'll feel more successful because you look like an expert. And you'll feel more freedom when you spend less time worrying about your presentation the night before. Here's the practical for you. For your presentation, write down the words, I'm going to show you. Then fill in the rest with something that's going to create more happiness, success, or freedom for your audience. Here's the rule. You can't tell them what they're going to get until you've told them why they would want it. Your hook has to be something that gets them to believe that they want what you're going to give them. Take a moment right now and write down the why for your presentation that will make your audience more happy, successful, or free in their life. And now we move on to step number 4, which is to introduce your agenda. I recommend you use a PowerPoint for this step, and the slide should look something like this. Now, the purpose of this step is to show your audience the takeaways for your presentation, the things they get to take away and use tomorrow after listening to your presentation. Don't read the slide. They're adults. They can read. Instead, just give them a moment to read it themselves and introduce your agenda by summarizing what you'll be doing. You do this by mentioning the number of takeaways you'll be giving them and paraphrasing the goal of your presentation. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to show you 5 steps to deliver a killer opener. What would this look like for you? The last step is step 5. Give a credible statement. You can do this by giving relevant or compelling data to your audience to support your message. Remember how I did this at the beginning of this video? I said, you probably already know that delivering great presentations is critical to advance your career. But did you know that research says that most adults will stop listening to your presentation within the first 10 minutes if they aren't convinced there's something in it for them? And when you do this, within the first 2 minutes of your presentation, your audience starts to trust you. Without bragging, your listeners start to think, ooh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Done. When I put those 5 steps together, it sounds like this. Hi, I'm Jason Tiedick. I help people overcome their fear of public speaking and deliver amazing presentations. And today, I'm going to show you how to captivate your audience within the first 5 minutes of your presentation. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you 5 steps to deliver a killer opener. You probably already know that delivering great presentations is critical to advance your career. But did you know that research says that most adults will stop listening to your presentation within the first 10 minutes if they aren't convinced there's something in it for them? Wow. You see how powerful that is? Those are the 5 steps to deliver a killer presentation opener whenever you do a presentation. I know this is a lot of information for you to take in. For that reason, I put together some free video training for everyone who stayed to the end of this video.
Around the world every day, thousands if not millions of people give presentations. Some are great and have a powerful impact on their audiences. Others, well, let's just say they're works in progress. This is Powerful Presentations, simply stated. Meet Jim, an aspiring professional trying to make it in the world. Jim used to give presentations like just about everyone else he knew. PowerPoint was his tool of choice. He'd use it like an outline, with a header followed by bullet after bullet, and sometimes even sub-bullets. When he wanted to be fancy, he'd add what usually turned out to be an ineffective chart, or sometimes a table. And when Jim wanted to really spice things up, he'd add, yep, clip art. Unfortunately, Jim's approach would often confuse and bore people. This was a problem because he had important things to say, and because it was dimming his prospects for success. Fortunately, Jim learned a better way and didn't stay in the dark for long. Perhaps most importantly, he now focuses on the story he wants to tell. In doing so, he tries to follow a simple structure, with a clear beginning, middle, and end that links together his various points and builds to his conclusion. When formulating his story, Jim uses a simple pad of paper or sticky notes. Staying low-tech at this stage helps him think more creatively and stay outside the box. He then considers what will best help him tell his story. Jim sometimes opts to use a whiteboard, flip charts, handouts, or even no props at all. When it makes sense for him to use PowerPoint, he tries to remember the adage that sometimes less is more. He doesn't dumb down his presentations, but he does try to limit each slide to one key idea. Or, depending on the content, he sometimes builds an idea incrementally so it's easy to follow. He always looks for visual ways to tell his story, with supporting images, minimal text, and clear charts and graphs. Sometimes he uses quotes, but he tries to remember that people can't read his slides and truly listen at the same time. Jim still uses plenty of text to help him remember what he wants to say, but he hides it in his notes that only he sees. Jim's new approach takes more time, energy, and rehearsal. It's been well worth the effort. His audiences are now much more engaged and better understand and remember his presentations. And, as if that weren't enough, his pocketbook doesn't mind either. This has been Powerful Presentations, simply stated.
First point. First point on this tip, tell a story. Do not make it boring. Do not let them fall asleep. Wake them up, please. This is important time. Good. Whenever you present something, whether it's a 1-minute speech, 20-minute presentation, in a paper, in a visual, and a face-to-face presentation, create a story. Chicken story, mountain, grandpa, grandma, little kid. Good. I like it. It makes sense. It's about me, BBQ Chicken. It's about my customers. It's about my market. It's about my future. You're going to make us millions of dollars. I love you. You understand exactly what I need to think. You tell me what I need to think, what I need to do. I like the story. Do tell me more, Mr. Smart Man. Mr. Consultant, please tell me more. I like you. I trust you. I trust your intellect. Please tell me more. I am interested in learning more story about it. Stay within the story. If you go off the story, just imagine your thought without any logic, the logos. Well, you are babbling. You're not telling anything about anything. That's point number one. Point number two. Yeah. You heard this over and over again. Get to the point before I'm done and make it brief. When somebody, who was the first one, the Kakao team guy, the team leader, I asked him why the opening statement you chose. He was trying to educate me with a very deep knowledge about China, mobile payment, so on and so forth. I am sorry, I am not interested. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't need to know maybe. I'm not interested. Why are you telling this? And he got to the point minute I challenged him. Because of this and this and that. Done. Ah, I like it. Ah, this time I know. I understand now. Make it simple, make it easy, make it short, and that's powerful. Getting to the point. Point number two. People prefer watching TV over listening to radio. Most of them. Somebody likes radio for special reasons, but usually they like to watch a TV rather than the radio. They like to play video game, then read a book. Except those bookworms who love the book, but mostly they like to play a video game or watch a movie. If I tell you a story and you cannot visualize about what I tell you, about the chicken story, about the mountain and grandpa and everything, well, I will say, I don't understand what you're talking about. But if you can tell them anything and show them something, a brief, concise picture or video or a story you can imagine, and someone can visualize what the content of the message may be, well, then they say, ah, I get it. Now I understand. Okay? Remember, keep your contents as easy as a little kid going to elementary school can understand. Again, keep your content when you express it and explain it. Do not go to PhD level complication. You're not going to impress nobody. You're just going to make everyone fall asleep. Keep it brief, keep it easy. Little kid can understand, everyone can understand. That's a good presentation. That's a good content. Keep it short, keep it easy, keep it simple, and help them, visualize it. That's a good presentation. The next video and the last video today is about Steve Jobs running and throwing a presentation. He's considered one of the best business executives who does an excellent presentation. He does everything that we talk about. He's disciplined. And you will, I hope, be more than, and better than what he does. The next 1 week, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks of time, if you really try, it's not that hard. What we talk about today, what you saw today, if you understand how to do it and replicate it, it is not that hard, believe me. I was not a great speaker. Now I'm a better than 10 years ago, even 1 year ago. I improved. So can you, right? Take a look at the master, Mr. Steve Jobs, and see how you can do it like him or do it better than him.
Anyone who has watched a Steve Jobs keynote will tell you he is one of the most extraordinary speakers in corporate America.
Who does the best job of that in the world?
While most presenters simply convey information, Jobs inspires. I'm Carmine Gallo, and today I'll walk you through several key techniques that Steve Jobs uses to electrify his audience. They're elements you can adopt in your very next presentation.
Welcome to Macworld 2008. We've got some great stuff for you. There's clearly something in the air today.
With those words, Jobs opened Macworld 2008, setting the theme for his presentation and hinting at the major announcement of the day, the launch of the ultra-thin MacBook Air. Whether it's a new notebook or the iPhone, Jobs unveils a single headline that sets the theme.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Once you identify a theme, make sure it's clear and consistent throughout the presentation. Think of a staff meeting as a presentation. So let's say you're a sales manager introducing a new software tool to help your team generate, track, and share sales leads. You might kick off your meeting this way. Good morning. Thanks for coming. I know you'll be really excited about this. Today we make it easier for you to make your quota. That's the headline. Easier to make quota. It's memorable, and it sets the direction for the rest of your meeting. It gives your audience a reason to listen.
So I've got 4 things I'd like to talk about with you today. So let's get started.
Steve Jobs always provides an outline for his presentation and then verbally opens and closes each section with a clear transition in between. Here's an example.
So that's Time Capsule, a perfect companion to Leopard, and that's the first thing I wanted to share with you this morning.
Remember what I usually do? I write today's agenda on the board. I usually do that, and I go through that process. So you expect what's coming to you, and you expect why is it good for you. You may not understand everything because you haven't seen it yet, but at least you understand the direction that's coming to you, and you can make it yours if you understand ahead of time. Create the expectation of your message. Create the expectation of your message. Create the expectation of your message.
The point is, make it easy for your listeners to follow your story. Your outline will serve as guideposts along the way. You'll also notice that during his presentations, Jobs uses words like extraordinary, amazing, and cool. He is passionate, enthusiastic, and it shows.
Incredible, unbelievable, amazing, awesome, extraordinary year for Apple.
You know, your audience wants to be wowed, not put to sleep. Too many people fall into this presentation mode. It's stiff, it's formal, it lacks pizzazz. We, your listeners, are giving you permission to have fun and to be excited about your company, your product, or your service. If you're not passionate about it, we're not going to be. Remember, Jobs isn't selling hardware. He's selling an experience. If you offer numbers and statistics, make them meaningful.
We have sold 4 million iPhones to date. We divide 4 million by 200 days, that's 20,000 iPhones every day on average.
Numbers don't mean much unless they're placed in context. Managers, connect the dots for your listeners. Recently, I worked with a company that launched a 12-gigabyte memory card. 12 gigabytes! That number doesn't mean much to most people, so we put it into context. We said that's enough memory to listen to your music while traveling to the moon and back. Now, 12 gigs means something to me. Make numbers meaningful. One of the most effective elements of a Steve Jobs presentation is that they are easy on the eyes. His presentations are visual and simple. While most speakers fill their slides with mind-numbing data and text and charts, Jobs does just the opposite. He uses very little text and usually 1, maybe 2 images per slide. You see, you want to paint a picture for your audience without overwhelming them. Inspiring presentations are short on bullet points and big on visuals. If you really want your presentation to pop, treat it like a show, with ebbs and flows, themes, and transitions. Jobs includes video clips, demonstrations, and guests. He also has a knack for dramatic flair, and it's very effective. For example, when introducing the MacBook Air, Jobs drew cheers by opening a manila interoffice envelope and holding the laptop out for everyone to see.
Kakao team's leader showed a water bottle, trying to simulate and visualize buying a water bottle from a vending machine, have no change, use Kakao Pay. That was good. It was a good show. There was a good logic to be created. It was good. I like it. Try to show simple and everyone can relate to type of visualization. That's effective communication.
This is the new MacBook Air, and you can get a feel for how thin it is.
What is the one memorable moment of your presentation? Identify it ahead of time, then build up to it.
With a little help from our friends, everything will work today.
And finally, rehearse, rehearse, and rehearse some more.
Let me show you how easy that is now.
Steve Jobs makes it look easy because he spends hours rehearsing. He cannot pull off an intricate presentation with video clips and demonstrations and outside speakers without practice. The result, a presentation that is perfectly synchronized and looks, yes, effortless. Now, the average business person does not have the resources to create a Steve Jobs extravaganza, but you do have time to rehearse. The greatest presenters do it, and so should you. Oh, and one more thing. At the end of most presentations, Jobs adds to the drama by saying, and one more thing.
One last thing.
He then adds a new product or a feature, sometimes just introduces a band. This not only heightens the excitement, it also leaves your audience feeling they've been given an added bonus. The point is, Steve Jobs approaches each presentation as an event, a production with a strong opening, product demonstrations in the middle, and a strong conclusion. And yes, even an encore, that one more thing. I wish you a dazzling presentation.
For more info,
feeling they've been given product demonstrations, dazzling presentation. Conclusion. And yes, even an encore.
Two things I want to convey to you and just go into a break time. Listen in. No cacao talk this time. Come on, guys. Thank you. Number one, tell a story. The audiences are not stupid. They are as smart as you are, maybe smarter than you are. They rely on you, not because they are stupid, Mr. Consultants, Miss Consultants, because you think different than they think, and you think out of the box that they do not see. Because when they're in the routine operation, even if they are CEOs of the big company, they are blocked into their thinking box. And you have all the freedom in the world, as you have demonstrated so far. You can think outside of the box. So you can tell them something they do not see, but do not consider them as stupid. Show them respect, yet show them your confidence. That's number one. You tell them a story that they can concur and agree and say, wow, I love it. Number two, get to the point, keep it simple, keep it brief. I said it 1,000 times, I will not say it anymore. Number three, visualize it. Stories, movies, video games, face-to-face meetings. You can see what's going on and not having to figure out from somewhere, I don't know where. Visualize, show some demos, show some action, a little fun act and some attention-grabbing moment that you can present. That's good to start. Now, after all that, you have to practice. I come here every single day, Professor Ola does too, before I come to the class. Okay? Within the last 24-hour span. I run this lecture every single semester. I know it by heart. But every single time I come in, usually a few hours before the lecture, I rehearse. You know what? You know why? Every single time our students, that you guys look at me, they're all different students. We all have different progress. If I replicate it without rehearsing it, I just copycat what I did last semester, my message would not be inspiring. So what I do, I rehearse. I take a look at this video. It takes me, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Not to brag about myself, because I even do my rehearsing before I come to this class, a few hours before this class. Because my memory is clear, fresh, and I can relate to you. And I understand what I do from 4 o'clock until 7 o'clock in my system. There's a process, I imagine. From beginning, this is what I do, and I would expect this kind of reaction, and I would ask this kind of question. I would trigger that brainstorming, and then I leave it at that. And then after break time, I do this. I have my plan in my head for the entire 3 hours. Without the plan, I have to throw a lot of joke, and that's not good. In your 20-minute presentation, even 1-minute speech, you need to have a plan and rehearse, and rehearse. That's enough. Lastly, people like bonuses. You buy something, 1 + 1. Oh, I love it. You get bonus. You get samples when you buy cosmetics, ladies, right? You like samples when you buy cosmetics? You don't like it? You're too rich? Anyways, people like bonuses. People like extras. So if you say one more thing, I would believe that 4 teams will say, hey, by the way, one more thing. That'll create a little bizarre situation. So there are many ways to say one more thing. One more thing. By the way, did you know? What's next? This is it. There are many creative ways to create the bonus statement or bonus information. Don't replicate, by the way, one more thing. All 4 teams saying it at the last minute. That'll look a little, something that we don't want. Create some extra bonus for your audiences. Something that they can feel, wow, you guys went that much? Go beyond your duty? I am impressed. That's what you want to do. Go beyond the expectation. What I said in the beginning, create the expectation. At the end, go beyond the expectation. Oh, this guy expected $10 from me. When I asked, do you have some money I can borrow? How much do you need? Well, I need $10, my friend. and I say, well, I got 20 for you. I'm not rich, but I have 20 for you because you're in need. Take 20, and you can, if you can pay me back anytime. I went beyond my friend's request and expectation to have some money at a need of time. Go beyond the expectation. When BBQ Chicken, when Kakao Talk expects to get this kind of consulting work, go a little bit more. Go 2 more inches. Go 3 more miles. Create some ideas and solutions that they would never expect. You know what? That little bonus is the killer. It'll knock them dead. Any questions, comments so far? Once again, good. We'll give you 15 minutes. Come back. We'll do your own presentations. Thank you.